Hello, everybody. Welcome to Beyond Influence. Today, we are very lucky to be graced by a Netflix reality superstar with one of the, arguably the most iconic sleeping and waking up moments in like reality TV history. She embodies everything that is pure, joyful. Her bio says she's just here for the vibes, and she really is just a complete vibe. So today we have Tiffany with us. Thank you so much for joining us, Tiffany Pennywell Brown. How are you today?
Wow, Kwame, what an intro. Thank you so much.
I forgot about that sleeping moment. I was like, oh, that's great. I forgot.
Oh, I'll never live that moment down.
Yeah, it's funny when I was doing the guest promo, I put 3 emojis for people to guess, and I have to have maybe 150 people who have already guessed. This is probably Tiffany, isn't it?
Oh.
It's a queen, a pair of sneakers, and a sleepy face.
Oh, so good.
Well, Tiff, thanks so much for joining us. Wanted to just start off with, hey, how was your weekend? It seems like you've got a new look. You told me a little bit about what was going on. Tell us about it.
Yes, Memorial Day weekend, I spent it in a chair getting my hair braided for 9 hours. So that's all I did. Yeah. Oh, and I caught up on Bridgerton, Queen Charlotte. I know I'm late, but goodness, that is an amazing show so far. So that's all I did this weekend.
My whole family's all into Bridgerton. I get the updates, and I'm like, I don't know if I can get on board, but
yeah, it's taken over my timeline.
Kwame's a huge fan. He just doesn't talk about it a lot.
Exactly. That algorithm is pushing it to your feet.
So I'm curious. I know you talk to Kwame a lot more, but how's life been? It seems like you're all over the world. You got a lot going on.
Yeah.
It just feels like you got this amazing thing going. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I think for me, I just really wanted to have fun with my partner as soon as I got married. So like we've really just made it a point to just have fun. Sometimes live outside of social media. We just travel a lot, and I guess just try to spend or do new things together. So that's what we've been focused on. We just made 2 years of marriage. So that's
amazing.
all that's
Congrats.
been going on. Now we're in the process of buying a home. So we just started looking around the Portland area. Whew, them home prices. They're up there.
Yeah, it's funny seeing your guys' posts because you guys are in my neck of the woods. I'm outside of Portland, grew up in the area. So.
Oh, what part?
I grew up in the Southwest, kind of Tiger Lake, Oswego, and now I live in Vancouver, where we have Portland close, but taxes of Washington. It's nice.
Vvancouver. Yes, I heard you. And that is an upcoming area. Like they have like this beautiful waterfront. I'm always there for, the vibes in the restaurant.
With that being said, it's funny because I think about, your anniversary being a day after ours. Yeah, y'all were so I will never ever forget your wedding anniversary. That works out well.
No excuses.
I know. But like it's really fun having gone through this whole journey together. I always think about the fact that I have these really awesome, famous friends, right? And, y'all are super cool. And I really look up to y'all. And I just finished talking to Brett, just a few days ago, just kind of just talking about life, catching up and getting some advice. Cause, y'all are my Netflix siblings, I think that's.
Yeah, I always tell people like we're a family in all of this. Like the process that we went through was just so expedited, and it can be a little scary. We're all newlyweds just trying to figure this out, but like on a public scale. And so just having people that you can like turn to for just advice. Like, I know if I go to Chelsea, she'll understand what I'm saying. If I go to Bliss, she'll understand. So it's been cool going through this with you guys.
I'm curious, when you went on the show, were you active on social? Did you have a following of any kind? Was this a whole new thing? I know we talked to Chelsea and it was kind of like she went from not engaging to suddenly having, a couple 100,000 people watching her every move and feeling like needing to do something or put something out there for this audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I was active probably once every 6 months, and I was only on Instagram. So this was all new to me. I think getting a following overnight can be a little intimidating. It definitely was for me. Um, and I'm just like, what do I say? What do I do? Like, are my posts okay? And when you're in the show or when the show is airing, they want you to put out kind of content to help promote the show as well. So like even that was hard for me. I didn't know what to post, what to say, how to make it engaging. So yeah, I've been learning this last year.
It's interesting too. We talked a little bit about, the different dynamics in reality TV production and how different people get you guys maybe had the most amazing kind of glorious representation on the show, but there's also this pressure, I feel like, if you're painted as perfection in all of your posts and then your married life after, like, how do you put content, and is it reinforcing that? Are you allowing a little bit of like the real, or the different you, the non-perfect, the non-edited you to show up? And what does that look like? Versus others are trying to overcome a negative perception that was painted of them. Like, what was that pressure like, on social?
So I don't think Brett felt any pressure. Brett's just Brett, kind of like what you saw. Kwame knows that is just him. I think for me, and they showed a lot of his story too. I think for me, I felt a little pressure to show up as perfect on social media, but also I didn't know how to talk about myself other than my love story, because that the career side of Tiffany was never shown on the show. So for me to just be like, hey, yeah, these are my friends. This is the life I built in Seattle. And hey, yes, now I'm in Portland. They only showed Tiffany falling in love. And so I feel like at the time, that's what my audience wanted to see. Just these beautiful pictures of Brett and I living our best lives, unbothered. It's changed now, though. I feel more fine with just putting out content that's just more representative of me. Definitely on my stories.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that is a really difficult transition. I think when it comes to the way that we were shown to the world, right? You're brought to the world as this person who got married on reality TV. This was the portrayal of your story. And so that's how everyone sees you. For the longest time, I love my marriage. I'm very happy about it. But I think sometimes it got on my nerves when I go anywhere. I just be I'd be out I hang out with my boy Jimmy a lot. We'll like go to a movie or we'll grab a drink or whatever. He's like the guy I just hang out with. And everywhere I'd go, people would be like, where's Chelsea? I'm like, yeah. Like, can I just be Kwame like for like 5 minutes? You know what I'm saying? And so I definitely feel that. And trying to fill in all the gaps of who you are as a person around the story that was given to the world can be really difficult, because it almost feels like every post or everything that you give to the world has to be calculated in the way that you want them to just like understand you as a human being.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
I mean, obviously now we're fortunate. We've been through this awesome experience, and we're getting to really encompass like all the other parts of what we want to do. And a question that I have for you, because I know I had it for myself, right? Since I was presented in this way, I didn't really have a niche as an influencer, And so as you're starting to build your brand, have you started to see any things that have really stood out more in terms of like the categories that you fit in?
Absolutely. Yes. Starting out, management companies would ask me, Tiffany, well, so tell us, what is your niche? I was like, what does niche mean? Like, I mean, I'm just me. I'm Tiffany. But the longer that I've been in this space and really having to dive into like what truly makes me happy and light up, and how do I want to share that with the world, I've started to realize I'm a big travel girly, but not in the sense of like I want to do all the touristy things or I'm solely going for shopping and showing you my clothes. No, I want to show you the experiences that you can have there, because like I truly believe, and I've always encouraged my friends to step outside of their comfort zone and truly experience the essence of like the place that you're visiting. So anywhere that I go, like I want to travel and I want to share that with others and show them like, yes, and you can have this experience too. So I've noticed that I'm doing that more recently, especially with my travel to Japan. But I want to start doing that more. And I want to do it with different brands too. Like I want to be able to go on these brand trips and not only help partner with the brand, but to experience the place and share that with my following. I was just gonna say the last thing was beauty, but it's only because like people always comment on my hair and my makeup, and one thing I don't do naturally is just share like a getting ready with me. I always share the final product, but I stress about like, how do I film this to make sure it looks okay? Do I have the right lighting? Um, so I want to start doing more of that, and get better at that in that space, because I love makeup.
I love this kind of idea around identity.
Hmm.
And I think about maybe it's a funny parallel, but I think about, new moms, for instance. And I think about like the identity shift of you have your friend group, you have your identity, you have you and your partner, and what makes you Tiffany. And then for you, there was this moment you go on the show and now it's Tiffany and Brett and Netflix and Love is Blind. And it's this thrust upon you identity, which is exciting and it's new, but it's also how do you rationalize that against what you know of yourself for the first 20 some years of your life? And now there's this kind of third, how do I bring this all together and this representation of me to this audience? And I think that journey is super cool. And it's probably not without a lot of soul searching and maybe feeling like you've lost yourself and having to rediscover. We talked with Kwame, we talked with Jason Tardik and others about like connecting all the parts of yourself and your head and your heart and your identity in this kind of new, profound way. It feels like you've been on that journey.
Oh my goodness, yes. I've only been like very public for a year now. So, and that year was a lot of soul searching, a lot of like discovering like who I am I'm now 38, as a 38-year-old, when I really thought I knew myself, but having to tell that to so many different people, yeah, it's intimidating, but at the same time, you start digging a little deeper into who you are.
As someone who is now emerging and finding different things about what they want to represent, have you seen your, I guess, like your behaviors or the way that you handle influencing? Have you seen that change since you started?
How I've handled influencing. Well, let's see. So I guess one part is like the brands that I want to partner with. I think I've always had certain values within myself and what I look for in a company when I choose to partner with them. And I'm glad I've kind of stayed true to that. But as far as, wait, I'm sorry, Kwame, repeat that question one more time. I feel like I just went on a tangent and lost myself for a second.
That is a-okay. I love that. Just go ahead and lose yourself sometimes. I was asking like how you handle influencing, because I've seen like myself when I first started out, I would be really picky about what I put on my page. And then one day I woke up and I was like, you know what? I could have a post today that bombs, and I could have a post tomorrow that is astronomical, right? And so I've started to just feel like whenever I get an opportunity to just show something, I'll
Yeah.
show it. And if the people take it in, they take it in. And if they don't, sometimes they don't. How have you seen yourself kind of grow in that sense?
So, like during the height of the show, you're following, you're getting hundreds of thousands of likes and comments, and people reaching out to you, but that following will drop off eventually. And like those weeks or months after the show has stopped airing, you're still trying to chase that high. You're trying to chase like that perfect picture, that perfect caption. Um, and I had to take a step back and say, you know what, Tiffany, the average person will not experience this, and you probably won't experience this again. Just always be yourself and post what you want, because those people will be aligned to you. And no matter what, there's always going to be somebody cheering you on. There's always going to be somebody that's like, yes, girl, post more. Or, I mean, you never know. And then I also said I wanted to give credit to my husband, because I think with Brett, he is always posted whatever he wanted. If he liked it, he stayed true to himself. And it's like, you know what? People may like this or not, or the algorithm may push this out, or it may not, but I need people to know who I am. So he's always like just been on me like, Tiff, if you like it, post it. Who cares what people think? This is you.
I love that. And I think one of the benefits, we talk to a lot of creators and they'll build a following down a certain lane, and then they're kind of trapped in that lane.
Yes.
And, whatever has defined them, they have a harder time breaking out. And I think one of the beauties, like Netflix and TV in general, cast such a wide audience that even if some people fall off because, long term, they don't love travel and they don't love, beauty and they don't love certain pieces, you can just zero in on those people who do love those things and do care about kind of where you're going as an individual. And I think those people will attract more people who want to support you and want to support what you're about. So I love that approach. And I think ultimately that is the path to long-term success, is being really authentic and leaning into what you love and what you want to represent. And I think more people could benefit from not worrying about what the world thinks of them and what they want them to be.
Absolutely. And it's why it's so important to limit yourself on social media too, because you'll just go down this rabbit hole, and then you'll start to be inspired by too many people doing the same thing that you lose yourself. So I try to take a break every now and then.
Yeah, I think it's really funny. I think part of me hates the way that like the social media algorithm works. It just pushes content based off of what you are seeing and what it seems like you're reacting to and liking it. So you just go down a rabbit hole of all these things that apparently you agree with.
Yes.
Right. And it really, really skews things in such a negative way, because like my goal on social media is to find out new things, right? To figure out what is out in the world that I haven't seen yet. And that way I can be inspired by it and learn from new people and new ideas. And so I wish there was a way for us to transition that way, social media wise, but we'll see. We'll give it time. But obviously, based on the economics of things, it makes more sense for companies to just take us down a rabbit hole of buy these shoes.
I know.
So, I mean, with you as a creator and the things that, I would say your journey and how you started out and tried to understand everything, now you have a new management company. I'd love to know how that has really played into you as a creator, how that's helping you, how that's developing you.
Oh, wow. I'm so thankful for them. They came at the right time. I would say like back in November, it was a company that just saw potential like in me. And I want to say, like, starting out as like someone that wasn't like fully into this space before having a platform, not knowing what to do with it. You're going to have a lot of people reach out to you when your numbers are high. But who are the companies that want you because they see something in you and they want to be on that journey with you? And so this company has like really helped me with providing me tools that I need to be a successful creator, not a company that solely wants to make a quick buck because your numbers are high. These are people that truly want to see you grow and know that there's a long game to this. There's a long game. There's a strategy behind this, and reassuring you that you'll be okay through the ups and downs of this business, because it happens to everyone. So my company is called Parker Management. And I did a few interviews with people there to make sure that it was a fit, that the management would be a good fit for me. Are we aligned on even just values and how we work and how we communicate? And so with them, just having a company that provides you weekly updates, monthly check-ins, provides you like an email report of what they're bringing in, what's in the loop, what's closed out. I think that is so important for me, being so new in this space and truly wanting to be a student in this space and learn from the business too, not just make some money. I want to truly learn and grow and be proud to say like, hey, yes, I'm a great content creator and I've earned to be in this space with other talented creators. So yeah, this company has been great for me. I love the management that I work with, and I love that their kind of slogan is "Be a good influence," and that's something that I've always lived by.
I love that so much. And it resonates. I mean, when Kwame and I talked about some of the challenges facing our business, we said we feel like the voice of the creator, the voice of the influencer, and giving them tools and resources isn't the top priority of a lot of companies in the space. And ultimately, those creators and their gifts and their following is the reason why a lot of these brands and companies get to exist and get to reach an audience in a really unique way that creators and influencers can offer. And so I think it's great to hear companies giving back and supporting with real resources and tools creators who want to better themselves. And I think just in life, taking a really proactive approach, being a student, being seeking to run it more like a well-informed business,
Yes,
and actually manage your own kind of fate and destiny is a great approach. And I love that you're getting that support.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I think to dive into like a 30-second spiel of, jumping into management as a influencer, you have all types of management companies out there, and Brett and I were actually talking about like influencer management companies or influencer deal brokerage companies, yeah, it was a really, I actually really enjoyed the conversation. I was supposed to call him back. I will tell him I'll call him back.
okay.
But when you start with the management company, there's exclusive or non-exclusive. Some companies want you all to themselves. And I think like based on who you are, sometimes that works a little bit better. And I think for me, when I started out, I was like, hey, I want to try to explore all my opportunities. So I went with a non-exclusive company so that it was like, hey, they can get me deals and then I can kind of work my way out from there. And so trying to combine the two, but also understand that like there are some companies who will go out and seek and look for deals based off of the brand and the niche that you are building and who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And there are some other companies that might just get you deals based off of the partnerships that they have as well. Right. And so there's so many different nuances. And so I really love that you interviewed a bunch of people at this company, right, to figure out what they really want. It seems like they're really developing you as a person. And that seems like the perfect fit of like a real talent management company. So I think that's an important note for a lot of influencers to really pay attention to. You really want to understand the company that you go, especially if you go exclusive and you sign a contract, know what they're doing for you because you're definitely doing a lot for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's important to note there's space for both. But for where I want to be in this space, I know that this company was the best fit for me.
So we try to ask this question of everyone, and it feels like you've learned a ton on your journey. And if you were to offer one piece of really insightful advice or guidance, and not just like the straightforward stuff like be authentic, but like what's one kind of hard truth, one hard finding that you would offer to creators or influencers, that you had to learn the hard way?
I think it all goes back down to learning. Treat this as your business. Never stop researching when it comes to companies, when it comes to yourself, when it comes to um, new trends or new platforms to grow your following. Never stop learning, because this business changes instantly. It changes so quickly. So you have to like truly love it, and make sure you make this something that you're passionate about and want to learn about.
I love that. I think that's amazing advice. And I think if folks can really embody that learning mindset and I love what you said about loving it. And, it is interesting. The people who have found the most success, they truly do love connecting with their audience, producing content, whether it's Twitch streaming and playing video games for a living, or it's, going around and launching a book, or it's traveling and helping women feel beautiful and giving them tips to look and feel confident. Like, I think there's so many different ways that people can find passion and really love what they're doing and connect with folks. And it's just great advice.
Well, I do think when you think about like the journey that everyone goes through and them trying to understand how to be a better creator and a better influencer, I think one important thing with learning is and growing is treating it like a business. I think a lot of people think that, hey, I can be an influencer by creating content and then sitting on my couch the rest of the day. But it's not that. I was just, having a conversation with someone about affiliate links. That's them consistently pushing out content, showing and suggesting and recommending things to wear or things to do or stuff around the house. And, that person in the last calendar year, made $1 million on affiliate links. Right. Do you know how many affiliate links you have to push out to make $1 million? Like, it's unbelievable, Yeah. Right. So you can be a massive success in this industry, but you have to treat it like it's your business, not just your pastime, and I think that's where there's a disconnect with a lot of creators, is like they create and then stop there. But the business of being an influencer and a creator is about a full cycle, right? When we talked to Marcel, in our last episode, it was about setting a time, right? This is the block in which I'm going to stream. Once I'm done streaming, how long does it take for me to edit? How much, content am I pushing out? And he started that in 2011. And then now he's fortunate enough to be able to just do his video game playing and have someone else take care of that. But for what? 10, 15 or 10, 11, 12 years, however long it took him to get here, like, it's a long process to get to a place where you are successful as an influencer. And it's a grind and it's a lot of effort. So it's not just create content and let it go.
It is not. I have so much respect for content creators now. I'm just like, what they do is not easy. To truly be yourself on camera, but to also edit these things, find the right music to pair it with, have the right captions. This takes like a whole day for me. It was very stressful at first because I didn't know what I was doing. But now I'm like, whoo, mad respect to them.
Yeah, even something as small as like, our social team, when they help us upload Beyond Influence on YouTube. I remember I was like, oh, don't worry, I can upload the YouTube videos. We're fine. And Chantal, one of our social media team, she told me, she was like, yeah, it takes us about an hour to optimize like everything in this video to make sure it works the right way. And I'm like, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many little details that people don't see. They just think it's like record something, click post, and life is done. But so many things under that.
So many. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, I think another question when it comes to the general things that we like to ask people, you've had quite the creator journey so far and you're into it for, a little bit of time now. I'd love to know, was there a partnership that you've had so far that you've really enjoyed, something that was really memorable for you, or something that you think you did really well on as a creator?
I do have one. I did a partnership with Hallmark Channel in Hilton, and it was over the holidays. And I was able to go home and do this partnership with my family. We had a holiday suite that was fully decked out in all of the Christmas decor. and of course, Hallmark movies streaming on the TV, and they had food and drinks delivered, and I was able to surprise my family with this holiday suite. I had this with Brett as well, so to be able to do that with him, the rest of my family, have my little niece just truly enjoy like spending time indoors with her family and wanting to stay the night with us as well. We were like, no, you got to go home. But that was my favorite partnership because it didn't feel like work whatsoever. It was just me having a good time and making sure my family enjoyed it as well.
It's like having Christmas in a Hallmark movie but you're in a Hallmark movie.
That's what it was.
And you don't have to clean up at the end of it, which is like the worst part of hosting Christmas. So.
Right. Yeah, and that was the one I think I did the best on too. I think the video quality was great. I mean, granted, I didn't have to decorate anything, but it showed up so well on camera, and just to see the natural reactions, responses from my family, it just brought so much cheer during the holiday season.
It's amazing. I think the travel space and all of that is one. It's funny because that's been called out multiple times as like the deal people would want to have is airline, hotel. So I think, you could probably get a lot of people to come make content with you if you do some collaboration.
For real though.
Yeah. I think what I've started to realize as well is a lot of the interactive experiences and partnerships are ones that really like they have a lasting experience with us. And they give us they invoke a whole lot. One of my favorite partnerships and deals that I've done was the Black Sugar Love panel that I got to do with you and Brett. That
one.
Yes, it was such an amazing experience because we got to share in that together. And it was like, we got there. It's always nice to get the prince or princess treatment, right? We got to LA. A car picked us up, took us back to the hotel. We got this opportunity to just like meet all these other influencers in all these other spaces as well. These guys who Duke and the other guys who have their own podcast. I forget the name of the pod. Yeah, right. Nice and neat. Yeah. And so like it was cool to have this immersion into it. And then all of us getting an opportunity to talk about the things that meant a lot to us in our real lives, but share it as a partnership was just, it was so cool. And then obviously like we got to hang out after that as well. We went out for drinks and went out dancing and stuff. So I love the immersive partnerships. It really it does leave a mark on an influencer or creator's mind. And it really helps them really focus on the brand and what it gives them, so much so that they'll keep talking about that and doing just like natural promotion. So I think that is definitely an area that more brands should focus on, doing an interactive experience within every partnership.
I agree. Everything you said, Tommy, everything.
I was thinking when you said too, like including family and making it mean something more. I don't know if you followed the story of maybe the siren who was working for Chick-fil-A and making videos. She had over 100,000 followers. They told her to stop making videos. And so El Pollo Loco and Shake Shack ended up doing deals with her. And now she's doing full-time influencing. But what was so cool is we helped her partner with El Pollo Loco, and they actually took her back to her hometown, and she had memories of like going with her uncle out to eat at El Pollo Loco. And it was like a part of her childhood. And they were like reliving that kind of moment of their childhood and the connection of family through this brand deal. And it wasn't just this like taco ad. It was something deeper. It was a human story. It was relationship. And I thought that was executed really, really nicely. And again, I think just being able to tie meaning and like the real human side, like no matter how big of a following, you have a family that you care about, you have connections, you have friends, you have things you're passionate about. I think it's important to remind, folks that creators are humans and have like real thoughts, emotions, and experiences.
Yeah.
Look at that. We just had a moment.
I know we did. I can't wait to look up that story after this call.
Yeah, she's crushing it. She's done a great job.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, with everything you've got going on, you're all over the world. You got, your influencer stuff going on. You have this new agency you're a part of. What's next? What's on your radar for the rest of the year? What are you excited about?
Well, what is next? I
New car.
That is true. Actually, Scott, after this call, I am driving up to Tacoma, Washington to pick up a new car. I am fully going electric.
Nice.
I just got an Audi Q4 e-tron. So
those are awesome.
I'm excited to, have my new car, drive up and down the state of Oregon and Washington. But of course, we're still in the process of looking for a new home. Brett and I will still continue to travel. And for me, I am excited to, I took a little break from work and I'm excited to get back to just a normal schedule. But do this content creation at the same time, because I was like, I could be a corporate baddie and an influencer. We're not. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to that.
Those are the exact words that Kwame said on our first call.
Yes.
Oh, that is so funny. Oh man. I love that for you. Have you started really having any conversations? Do you know what direction you're headed there, or is that something that's still?
I'll still stick within talent acquisition in HR. There are some companies that I'm eyeing. Hopefully they open up some spots, but I'm glad that this content creation space has given me the flexibility to only work for a company that I truly love and am passionate about, not out of, a necessity at this time. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really dope. And one thing that we also like to make sure that we touch on before everyone leaves, because obviously you are a creator, you are creating, you are making content, you're working with brands, and you do have some dreams. And obviously, hopefully Audi finds a partnership in this somehow. But in case Audi doesn't work out, do you have any other dream brands that you would absolutely love to work with?
So, like I said, I am still working on niching down in the travel and beauty area. So, can I give you two in each?
Yes.
Or one in
Yes.
each niche. Okay. So
give us any amount you want.
I have always wanted to work with Marriott on a partnership. I love all of their hotel brands under that umbrella, and to be able to visit their properties all around the world, that is something I would love to experience and highlight on my platform. And I think the other thing is when it comes to beauty. So I'm actually a big fan of Fenty Skin and Fenty Beauty. Fenty Skin is the brand that really brought my skin back to life. So when people are like, Tiff, your skin is glowing, what do you do? It's all Fenty Skin and it's not a lot of products. It's literally 3 products I use on my face and it has done wonders. Shout out to Riri. But also with Fenty Beauty, I've actually done a partnership with them, but it was with the perfume. I would love to work with them when it comes to makeup, because that is something that I'm trying to explore more and show people how you can do a natural look or do some bold makeup with some lipstick, some lashes, all that stuff. So yeah, those are my brands.
Awesome. So some getting ready with Tiffany at Marriott's around the world with Fenty.
My
Let's
goodness,
do it.
that is it. Thank you, Scott. It's down real quick.
We got a whole series going on. It's okay. I can say with Kwame, we're super excited for all the success you've had, both on the show and off the show. I think, there's no doubt that people love you and also love Brett and your story, but love you. So I don't want to lump you only into the identity of you and Brett, but No, I think, there's a lot of people out there rooting for you. And I just love some of the points you brought up about finding identity and what that means to you, and pursuing what makes you happy, and what is genuinely you, and finding, an ever evolving and a new version of yourself. I think that's just a message, creator or not, that we should all listen to. So really excited for you and all your success.
I really appreciate that, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah. And to sum that up and end this on a high note, once again, we are very grateful that you are here, spending your time with us, telling you all about the things that matter to you and how that lines up to your life as a creator and on beyond that. So, Tiffany, thank you so much for being here with us today. We appreciate you. Cannot wait to see you succeed in so many big ways. Cannot wait to see you in that fly new Audi. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you everyone else for tuning in today. We will see y'all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.